Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and today it is March 16th. The World Championship just finished. The finals was Rob Lucci versus Shanks. It was a very, very good match with Rob Lucci winning. And third and fourth place was Rob Lucci versus Nell, of which Rob Lucci also won. And don't worry, the ban list seems to be fixing that. So we've got a whole bunch of information here, and I am joined with the big boss man.
Greetings.
And we're going to just go over everything. Literally, this is brand new news that only happened a few hours ago. I was watching it and I've seen some reactions, and well, we will get into those. But let's go through this in the same order that it was announced on the actual live stream. So the English and French version will be released before they come out in Japan. We're getting 6 new starter decks. That's Shanks, Jolly Bonnie, Buggy, Purple Black Luffy, Marshall D. Teach, and of course the green yellow Yamato. And that's really cool that there's English things before the Japanese version. And we're also told that we are hopefully getting to a point where both English and Japanese will be released at the same time. And that would be very, very cool, rather than Japan being multiple sets ahead of us. The Japan-only Star Deck promotion. We've got all 6 of these done in English, but now the players in Japan will be able to get them if they buy 2 Star Decks at the same time. There's a new premium booster pack coming out. This is the Best Volume 2, which, you know, I think it should be called, oh, this is better than the best. This is the bestest.
The best.
And then the Volume 3 should be the bestest. And then it just continues. It just gets progressively longer and sillier. So there's another reprint set, so that's very cool. The best set, Volume 1, was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
Getting those all arts of those
Dons.
yeah, and all the previous cards and things, and getting commons and such in foil.
It's quite a good way of giving you reprints of stuff that's been quite popular, some stuff that used to be quite expensive and that.
Yeah.
Like other games could
Even
follow
see some of the
and
SRs, like Gecko Moiras and things, you know,
Yeah.
that like made them really, really good, yeah. So that we
like
could
Gecko
get them.
Moiras, Captain Kids,
Yep.
like stuff way back set 1 that still costs you maybe like £20-30 a copy and that.
So
Let's give it-
November 2025, we get the 3rd anniversary set. So this is going to be set 13. That's going to be the 3rd anniversary. So it seems that they're doing an anniversary set every single year. The first one I think was set 5 was the
Yes.
anniversary set, and then the second one was set 8. I can't remember when the second anniversary was, but yeah, it seems nice that they're doing anniversary sets. And the 3rd set is going to be about the 3 brothers. So we might even get support for the 3 brothers decks. The Black Yellow Luffy, the Ace, and the Sabo. Maybe Ace may actually become playable for once. Maybe. Gold Roger finally joins the game as a leader card, which is very, very cool. I joked about this, saying I'm willing to bet it's going to be a 7-cost leader. It's going to be a 7k leader, and it is. It is a 7,000 power leader. It's red purple, and we don't know its effect. Now, because it's red purple and it's 7,000, makes me think it's going to have some horrible, horrible drawback. Either it's going to be, I think, either this could be the Exodia deck, because every game eventually seems to get an Exodia deck, and it might be, you know, Gold Roger, like his entire deck, like maybe it's like you're not allowed to attack or something, and it just, the whole thing draws cards or searches, and once you get all 4 road poneglyphs and the One Piece in your hand, you win the game. Something to like that. Either that, or Gold Roger will be in a time limit like he was. You know, he had the incurable virus, and maybe it'll be something like, if you don't win the game by turn 7, you lose. So you are like forced to rush. That's the 2 main things that I've got in my head for Gold Roger skills. Bossman, do you have any ideas what you think it might be?
Not the now.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting anyway. 7k, our first ever 7,000 power leader. Very, very
I
cool.
thought Whitebeard was good.
Yeah, well, I mean, Whitebeard, his thing was, you know, that he was dying, so like he starts on 6 life and he loses 1 life every single turn. But I mean, who knows what the hell Roger's going to have. Also, we've got is it red purple Luffy that's 6,000 that only has 3 life?
Yes.
So yeah, 7,000 power leader must have some incredible drawback. 3rd anniversary product's coming. Didn't we see this earlier?
That was a set. This is just a product.
Oh, okay.
That'd
Okay,
be
well,
it.
it apparently we're going to get more information about it later. The Seven Warlords of the Sea binder set. This is the whole reason that the Doflamingo leader was not banned. Spoilers. Was because we're getting all those. However, you will notice that it does have this Jimbei in here. I just thought I would point that out. I thought that was went a little bit too far. That will be interesting in a few minutes when we see the next part. There is the English 2nd Anniversary Edition, which is really, really cool. Now, remember the first Anniversary Edition set? It came with the deck box, the sleeves, it had the cool playmat. This one is all based on the 4 Emperors, and we've also got like brand new all arts of all 4 of the Emperors. There's Shanks, there's the, is it Purple Black Luffy? The Black Marshal they teach, and of course the new Buggy, and it also comes with an all art of all of the 10 costs, including the rare 10 cost Buggy, which is very, very cool to see that get a nice, cool all art as well. So that should be coming out in June 2025. Also has a very cool 4 Emperors Dawn, as well as the 4 Emperors little deck case, and of course the playmat. And I'm also told that playmat, with the little red hacky on it, the red hacky and the bit that says 4 Emperors is actually shiny. So that is going to be something very, very cool if you can get your hands on it. I had mine pre-ordered, I think, a year ago, and didn't know what it was. Just like, okay, yep, sure, put me down for that. And lo and behold, this is us finally getting the information on it, and it does seem to be pretty decent. Japan only, there's a second serial campaign. Perfect, great if you're in Japan. For us that aren't in Japan, not as useful. Japan only, the Card Fest. There you go. If you are anywhere near the Aichi Sky Expo, I'm sure that'll be very, very interesting for you. Championship 2025-26 season, that's the image for it. This might be the playmat. There's the event period. It's going to be from March 17th, which is tomorrow, all the way up to July 2025. It's actually already started, so that's a bit of a lie, because they've already held regionals for it. There is the schedule for what they are planning, with Worlds Finals being at the, well, in March of next year, pretty much the same as it was this year. There's the championship prizes, which is not a reveal, because if you check the website at any point before this, you would have seen them already on there. So, well, there they are again if you haven't seen them. There's also a brand new premium card collection, Best Selection Volume 4, which has got some interesting things in there. I think the most thing I'd be interested in is the Lafty for the Blackbeard Pirates. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, obviously Build Snake for the Red Haired Pirates. We've also got the 6 cost Calgara. Yes, I couldn't remember his name for a second there. Yeah, all I had was Viper in my head. Oh, there's the Shishi. Dera Shishi. Yeah. That's the basically draw pot of greed.
Is that the one cost Jewelry Bonnie Searcher?
I think it is, yeah. I think it's the Jewelry Bonnie Searcher reprinted again. So, well, I mean, that's nice. It's used in a few different decks. Well, for anyone that's interested in that, there it is. I'm not, but I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that would be very, very interested in that playmat. It's going to be $30, and I'm willing to bet people will be more than happy to pay more than double that. So, and here we are, we're finally into the banned and restricted card update. So the following cards are now completely banned. A ban! Gecko Moira, no more Gecko Moiras, no more Jimbei, no more Ice Age, and no more Kingdom Come. Now, of course, Jimbei is one of the powerhouse cards of the Doflamingo deck. A lot of people thought they were going to ban the Doflamingo leader, but that didn't come to happen. They did ban the Gecko Moira. I thought Gecko Moira was going to go to 1, but outright banning Gecko Moira seems a little bit, well, I mean, it hard gets rid of the problem. You know, it's not like a case of you can draw into 1 or anything like that. It's just straight up gone. Ice Age, 1 cost that gives something minus 5,000, or gives something minus 5 cost, not minus 5,000 power, gives something minus 5 cost is very, very strong. Yeah. I think the reason that Ice Age was banned is so that when they release other things that are events that lower cost, that people don't go, well, Ice Age is just better than it. I think it allows them to make specific things. You know, it's like, if your leader is Blackbeard, you know, give something minus 4 cost or something like this. Or if your leader is Rob Lucci, you know, maybe do a specific thing, like maybe mill the top 2 cards of your deck and give something minus 4 cost or something like that.
It helps slow Rob Lucci down as well, instead of just going, I'll pay 1 for Ice Age minus 5. Oh, okay, I'll just now call your character.
Well, I think Rob Lucci gets hit quite a bit by the Gecko Moira getting
It
banned.
definitely slows it down. So all you're doing is Gecko Moira skill. I'm just going to call my Rob Butchie and my Rebecca.
Kingdom Come, it has largely seen a lot of play in L and in Vegapunk, because obviously it puts your life to 1 after using it. But of course, if you're playing Vegapunk, it doesn't really matter. It basically just lets you KO anything you want. With L, also doesn't really matter. It lets you KO whatever you want. So I think that was just them getting rid of the ability to just get rid of things.
For the 10 cost nail coming out.
Yeah, well, I mean, that will obviously make the nail deck slightly better. And then, here's the controversial thing.
Oh, naughty.
Introducing block numbers now. When I saw this come up, I was like, okay, well, what on earth is block numbers? And I will straight up tell you, it is rotation. And there is a lot of negativity towards it. There are some people that are for it, but they are few and far between. I have certainly seen a lot more negativity towards this than positive, but we will talk about it. Let's tell people what it is first. So this is from April 1st, which is, yes, April Fool's Day, from 2026 onwards. So that's not 2025, that's 2026. So you've got a year to prepare for it. And maybe by that time, people will have calmed down, because there is always going to be an initial knee-jerk reaction. But I think it is warranted. And I think if people aren't happy, then they should let whoever's in charge know, so that they don't end up all quitting the game and then the game ends up dying. So that's what we're going to talk about. So basically, the block number system means that everything's going to have this little number. And what the number is determined by is when the card came out. So if your card came out between set 1 and set 4, it's going to have a 1. If it came out between set 5 and set 8, it's going to have 2. If it comes out between 9 and 12, it's going to have a 3. If it comes out between 13 and 16, it's going to have a 4. And so on and so forth. And the block numbers are updated every single year. And you can see that from April 2026 onwards, only block 2 and 3 cards will be valid for playing in championships and official tournaments. Now, that means that if you have any cards from set 1 to set 4 that in any of the official tournaments, now I use official with big block quotation marks there, then you're only going to be allowed to use things from set 5 onwards. Now, what does this mean? It means that if you have been playing the game since the beginning, if you have got a whole bunch of cards between set 1 and set 4, that you are no longer allowed to use them. Now, for a lot of people, they would say, like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. By the time we get into 2026, a lot of the cards from set 1 to set 4 will probably be power crept out of existence anyway. However, that does not help the... That's fine for people that are like us, that play the game... I wouldn't say professionally, because that would imply that we're getting paid to do it, but we certainly are more dedicated than what your casual fan is. And what it means is that players that are returning to the game have to buy an entirely new set of cards in order to continue playing. Now, of course, if you were trying to win the tournament, you would also need an up-to-date deck anyway. But if you're just going to compete and play for fun, you are now being told, no, you are not allowed to do that. It does also... People are saying that it helps because things in set 1 through set 4 that could be considered broken are no longer going to affect the format. Well, to that I say, there's a freaking ban list. So if there's anything that's a freaking problem, you can ban it. I don't think you needed to get rid of every single set from set 1 through 4.
Well, if you look at that ban list, yeah, you're talking about set 1 to 4. What did they ban? 1 card from set 4. The rest are all after.
Yeah. So it also mentioned, right, so this was the original thing, and then they added this little part. This is the standard regulation tournaments. And it says tournaments with all cards being available will be called the extra regulation tournament. However, this is not standard. Standard is the main thing they're going to push, and then extra is going to be the thing on the side. Now, there has been many, many games that have done this, that have unhinged or
Caved.
Yeah, or premium or anything like this where you're allowed to use all the previous things. But generally that is not your main game. The main thing is this standard regulation thing. Now, this is where it comes into play, is if you do not want all of your stuff being removed from set 1 and set 4, and then the following year everything from set 5 to set 8 to be removed, what you need to do is you need to go to your shop, and you need to say to whoever runs your shop, either your tournament organizer or your store owner or whatever, say, you do not like this idea, you do not want your cards to no longer be legal, and can we do the extra regulation tournament instead? That is a much, much better idea than quitting the game. Because if people quit the game, and also if you are someone that likes the rotation and you start mocking people for like, oh, well, if you don't like rotation, then you shouldn't be playing the game anyway, then those people will quit. And if they all quit, they will cancel your game. So if you enjoy rotation and you don't like the people that don't like it, you are getting rid of the people that are keeping your game alive. So that is not the answer here, people. What you need to do is you need to try and make all the people that are currently playing happy, and you also want to try and invite new people into the game, because that's how a game grows, rather than kicking out the people that are already playing. That is how you kill a game. And unfortunately, Bandai does have a really bad habit of doing that. They have had many, many games that have been cancelled. So if this is what you want, you need to let your tour or tournament organizers know about it. Your store owners, whoever's in charge, or even if you want to band together with a group of friends and all of you go and say, hey, we would like this as a separate thing because we don't want to do this. That's what you guys need to let them know. You've got a year to do this. You've got a year to prepare. Don't let this just sneak up on you. Don't wait until the last minute, because otherwise it will come in and then you will enter a tournament and the judge will come over and say, oh, you're not allowed to use those cards. Unfortunately, your deck's invalid. And, well, if you don't have anything to replace it with, you're just going to have to leave the tournament. And that is not what you want, because after that happens, you will not play again. That is how that works, because you will not want to. You will not be interested. And then that store is going to lose that player, and then it's going to affect them. It's going to affect the game, and then that store is going to stop selling the game, and then eventually Bandai is going to stop printing the game, and then the game will just no longer exist. So that is where these come into play. Now here they actually messed up. The Nami on the right is supposed to have a little 3 on the bottom corner of it, but they both have a 1 in the bottom right corner, which is just silly. So the idea is the current card has a little 1 in the bottom right. However, from 2026, once it gets reprinted, it would have like a 3 on it, and both of the cards will be valid. So even if you've got the original ones from the original set 1, you're still allowed to use them, so long as they are part of the rotation. And by that, I mean, from April 2026, the above cards will still be available and usable for standard regulation tournaments. More cards are scheduled to be added to the list depending on movements in future tournaments. Now, a lot of people have mentioned, can't help but notice that all the cards that are still legal all happen to be manga rares. And yes, that is somewhat telling, isn't it? That, if you've got the expensive cards, you can keep using them. It's only the commoners that are going to suffer. And, well, that's a little bit disappointing. Of course, I presume it means that it's not just the manga rares. I presume it means that if you have any rarity of the 9-cost Shanks or the 7-cost Ace, you're allowed to use them. But like, so long as the card has a manga rare variant of it, then that card should still be legal. And also, there's Kizaru. Kizaru was sent from the Navy to go and witness the One Piece information news.
Keeping an eye on all those pirates.
So, I am in this little One Piece group. I have mosaicked out the names so that no one can be found. But the block number system, how are we feeling about this? Let's take a quick look at some of the comments. And I have highlighted the negative ones because the negative ones are the ones that we really need to pay attention to. I mean, it's fine if you like the idea or if you don't mind the idea, but if people have a very negative effect about it and they all want to leave, it's going to eventually affect you, and it's going to affect the game in general. So, well, I'll be quitting. A lot of players expected this from the start, but this will sting for a number of people who wanted to play a non-rotating game. Digimon never rotated. Did Dragon Ball or Battle Spirits or any other Bandai game? Feels like this is coming out of nowhere. Game's dead after this, huge L. If it actually gets implemented, I will quit. Sucks, but hey. Well, I'm sure you can read that for yourself. Awful decision ultimately ruins the game for people who have played since the beginning and have stuck to certain decks. A big middle finger, really. One thing about Bandai is consistent with ruining a good thing. I'll probably quit when that happens if they don't change their mind down the way to that. I'm going to put my cards in the deep freeze. They will most likely never see play again. Rotation is a huge first. Rotation is a huge first for Bandai. I do not like this one bit. Game is garbage now. This gave me depression. Terrible. That's disgusting. Ah, crap. It's the freaking set rotation. So you can see that there is a lot of people that are not happy with it. Now, I am quite lucky. I am quite thankful that I am the store owner of my own card game shop. So I can decide what it is that we're going to do. And personally, I don't like the idea of this. So maybe we will try out the standard for a few videos, but largely the majority of the things, that was some older videos that I was accidentally showing there, but largely for the majority of the game, we will be using everything. Of course, we do on occasion still use like band cards, like when we did, or when we are going to do the Sakazuki in the canonical One Piece fights. But yeah, for the most part, we try to keep with, the actual ban list. We're not using Moby Dick because it is very, very strong. There is other things that we're not using that are currently on the ban list, of course. But in order to have the Sakazuki fights, yeah, we did use the Sakazuki leader, but that is more just a kind of fun little offshoot thing, the canonical adventures of One Piece. But as for this, I really don't like the idea of banning entire sets. Now, what they've said is the reason for it is because it confuses new players. No, having rotation confuses new players, because new players buy the cards thinking, oh, well, these seem pretty good, and then they show up to a tournament and then they're told, no, you're not allowed to use those, and then that puts them off ever entering the tournament again. Basically, you have to look up and know about it, or be friends with someone that knows how to play the game already before you go into the tournament. Because if you are a new player and you just want to play One Piece and you found a bunch of cheap cards online and you aren't aware they're cheap because they are banned, then you aren't going to know any better, and you're going to show up to a tournament and then you're going to be told, no, actually, everything from set 1 to 4 is banned. You're like, oh, that's why they were cheap then. So, yeah, so don't go believing that idea that it's for new players. The true reason for this is because they want you to keep buying the new sets. Yeah. They don't want people to buy stuff and then be happy with a deck that they've got and then just never buy anything new. This is not for, because anyone that considers themselves a professional player is just going to like keep buying all the new sets and going to keep an up-to-date deck, and they're going to keep up to date with the meta anyway. So they aren't doing this for you. What they're doing this for is for the casual people. It's so that casual people will always buy the new sets. And the new sets is what gives Bandai money. They don't get any money off of sets that were released like 3 or 4 years ago, because they make their money by selling their stock to the distributors. The distributors sell it to the shops sell it to the players. So if they aren't selling things to the distributor, they aren't making any money. So if shops have things from like 3 years ago and they're selling those off at cheap, and people are buying those, then that's good for the players, and it's also good for the shop because they're actually selling things. However, it's not good for Bandai because Bandai aren't selling their current stock, and also their players are using their money to buy stuff that they should have got years ago. So that's why Bandai want players to only go for the new stuff, and then when a reprint set comes out, they want the reprint set to essentially sell out immediately. That's what they're hoping to do. Now, you do have to remember that Bandai is a company. It is not your friend. They are in it to make profit. However, just because they're in to make profit does not mean that they can't make a good game, which they have done. I really enjoy One Piece, but there is certainly better ways to go around it than rotation. Now, people will defend and say Pokemon has rotation and it's doing fine. Magic the Gathering has rotation and it's doing fine. But, well, Busman has his own opinions on that. But the thing is, and also people will say, oh, but games that don't have rotation, die out very quickly. Well, look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been around for, I think, quarter of a century at this point without rotation. You are still allowed to use stuff from Legend of Blue Eyes if you really want to. Why you would want to, I don't know, but you can. And also, the way that Yu-Gi-Oh! Does that is because it has a ban list, which One Piece also has a ban list. So if there's any kind of problems, they can take care of it with a ban list. They do not need to get rid of entire freaking sets. So it seems like they are headstrong and they are wanting to go ahead with this. I think they very deliberately left this until the end because they knew that the audience would have a negative reaction to it.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the audience have had a negative reaction to it. So again, please do not quit the game just because you do not like rotation. They have also added in this extra regulation tournament, which is very, very good that they did that, and they're not outright saying that, oh no, everything from set 1 to 4 is banned, because if they didn't, that would have been extremely bad. You need to let your tournament organizers know, your store officials, just say to them, we would like this extra regulation tournament. We don't want to do this standard regulation tournament. Or if you really enjoy standard regulation tournament, say, hey, I would like to do the standard regulation tournament because I like rotation sets. And then maybe see if your tournament organizers are willing to do 2 different sets of tournaments. Or if they can't do 2 tournaments, maybe rotate the tournaments, maybe have, 2 or 3 standard regulation tournaments and then have 1 or 2 of the extra regulation tournaments, and then see how many people show up. Maybe people will enjoy playing both formats. I don't know. I imagine some people will stick to just one or the other, but I'm sure you would get some people that are happy to play in 2 different formats. But basically, the main thing is to not put people off playing the game. We don't want to stop new players coming in. We don't want to get rid of the players that currently already play. And this is not pleasing that many people. It's doing a lot more to make people quit, as we have seen from some of the comment sections here. You can see that there is certainly enough people that obviously do not like the idea of this block rotation. So in KC, in my little shop, we probably won't be doing the block number system, at least not as a main format. We might do it as a fun thing, or if we see that anything is particularly bad. I mean, the thing is, like, getting rid of set 1 through 4 does get rid of things like the Doflamingo leader, but I mean, it would be just as easy to just ban the Doflamingo leader rather than having to ban everything up to set 4 and then also ban everything up to set 8 the year after. So that's my opinion on it. Let me hear your opinions in the comment section below. Are you for it? Are you against it? And if you are against it, or if you are for it, then would you be willing to let the other side also play as well, so that people continue to play the game and that people do not straight up quit? Because if a large number of people quit, then it will affect Bandai sales. And if Bandai sales get affected, they will just treat it as a failed project and they will cancel the game. And quite frankly, I don't want to see One Piece TCG cancelled. Not now, not anytime soon, because it's still in a really, really good place. And right now, we don't need people worrying about quitting the game or that sort of thing. But that's going to be it for this little video, folks, and I really hope you've all enjoyed my little deliberation into the block and order system and giving you all the information from all the info that we got from the World Championship. With that said, folks, that is going to be it for this little video, and again, I really hope you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.